Welcome, seeker of the hidden currents. Before we begin, take a breath. Feel the silence behind your eyes. Somewhere deep in the quiet chambers of your being, something has been stirring, not loudly but persistently. You might not have words for it, but your body remembers. Tonight we follow that memory, not with logic but with soul. Part 1, when the body speaks in silence. It begins quietly. You're meditating, eyes closed, breath steady. Then, a twitch. A tremble in the hand, a sudden jerk in the shoulder. No thought caused it, no fear, just motion. Like something deep inside, ancient, buried, has begun to move again. What if I told you this wasn't a random nervous reaction, but a forgotten language? A whisper from your soul, carried through the temple of your body? Long before science explained neurons and muscles, mystics across the globe already knew. When the soul stirs, the body trembles. They called it many names: kriyas in yogic paths, spirit shakes in Christian revivals, chi release in Taoist practice. But the essence was the same. Something sacred awakens inside, and the body dances to its rhythm. You might have felt it during prayer, or when a deep breath suddenly became a wave. You might have been scared, you might have stopped. But that trembling, that was a door opening. Part 2, the forgotten movements of the soul. In ancient India, sages spoke of Kundalini, a sacred energy coiled like a serpent at the base of the spine, dormant and waiting. They said that when this force awakens, it rises upward, through the central channel of the body, and as it passes, it shakes the very structure of your being. But not everyone could see these tremors as sacred. Imagine sitting in stillness, and your neck begins to rotate, your back arches, your chest contracts and expands without you choosing to move. The modern world might call it odd, but in sacred texts, the Upanishads, Tantras, and Puranas, these movements were signs of the divine adjusting the vessel to hold more light. They weren't symptoms of a broken mind. They were messages. Not just in India. The mystics of Christianity spoke of it too. Saint Teresa of Avila described being overcome by a presence so powerful her body would shake uncontrollably. Not from fear, but ecstasy. Saint Francis would enter trance-like states where his limbs moved without his will, as if guided by spirit. In the tribal fires of Africa and the shamanic circles of the Americas, it was the same. The body became an altar, and movement became the offering. Rhythmic drums, sacred chants, firelight, all were tools to loosen the soul and let it rise through the flesh. Even in modern times, some spiritual seekers experience these tremors during breathwork, chanting, or deep prayer. It is not always peaceful. Sometimes it is wild, sometimes it is weeping, but always it is real. If you've ever felt your body twitch, spiral, or bend without your control, know this: you are not malfunctioning. You are awakening. Part 3. The energy within, a language older than words. Close your eyes for a moment. Place your hand over your chest. Feel that subtle beat beneath your skin. It's not just a heart pumping blood. It's a rhythm, an echo of something older than your name. From the moment you were born, your body has been listening. And when the time comes, it begins to speak, not with words, but with movement. Have you ever felt your hands vibrate when you pray with sincerity? Or a sudden chill running up your spine when you hear a sacred chant or enter a quiet temple? Maybe your arms rise during meditation without your will. Or your jaw clenches while you release a memory you didn't even know you had. These aren't accidents. These are echoes. The soul remembering its original frequency. Ancient wisdom knew this truth well, that the body is not a cage, but an instrument, and energy is its song. In tantric philosophy, the body is filled with nadis, energy channels, and at the center of them all is the sushumna, the spiritual highway that runs from the base of your spine to the top of your head. Along this path sit the chakras, spinning wheels of light, each storing a part of your life: survival, creativity, love, truth, vision, and beyond. When trauma, fear, shame, or suppressed emotions build up, they block these centers. Over time, these blocks don't just affect your mood, they affect your body. Your shoulders tighten from carrying invisible burdens. Your back aches under fear. Your stomach churns with unspoken grief. Energy, when stuck, creates pressure. But when it's released, it moves. And when it moves, it often trembles. Imagine your energy body as a string instrument that hasn't been tuned in years. The moment it is touched by a higher vibration, through meditation, prayer, breathwork, or intention, it begins to resonate again. And the strings shake, at first erratically, then in rhythm. This shaking, that's healing in motion. Some people report gentle vibrations, like tiny electric pulses in their fingers or crown. Others speak of full body movements, swaying, arching, even crying uncontrollably. These aren't problems. These are adjustments. The soul saying, this space is finally safe enough to speak. What science is only beginning to explore, the intersection of electromagnetism, bioenergetics, and consciousness. Mystics have lived for centuries. They knew that everything is frequency, and that trauma is a frozen frequency. When that frequency thaws, the body doesn't just feel, it reacts. This is why during spiritual awakenings, old memories may resurface. Memories buried so deeply you thought they were forgotten. The body remembers what the mind forgets. It holds not just physical scars, but emotional imprints. And when the soul stirs, the body follows, trembling, shaking, crying, expanding. But let's go deeper. Why does this shaking matter? Because it's not just about letting go, it's about realigning. When your body shakes during a deep breath, it's releasing resistance. When your fingers twitch during mantra chanting, it's energy recalibrating. When your spine sways in silence, it's your central channel clearing space for spirit. Each tremor, each movement, each flutter is a code, a message from your higher self to your waking mind. A reminder, you are more than flesh and thought, you are current, you are vibration, you are remembering. So what should you do when this happens? First, don't resist. The mind might panic, the ego might judge, but the soul knows. Surrender with awareness, watch your breath, feel your heartbeat, let it happen. Second, stay present. Don't escape the moment by analyzing, just be there. Let the body speak. You are witnessing a dialogue between heaven and earth inside your own form. Third, reflect after. Journal, draw, cry, dance. Let what needs to express itself continue flowing. The movement might end, but the message remains. In the moments when your body becomes still again, you'll notice something subtle has changed. A layer has fallen, a fog has lifted. A piece of you, long silent, has returned. And this, dear soul, is only the beginning. Part 4, Sacred Tremors, when healing takes form. Have you ever stood near a great waterfall? There is a force to it, not just sound or movement, but a vibration that enters your bones. That's what the soul feels like when it starts moving through the body, a sacred force that cannot be held back. Many people, especially during their early spiritual awakenings, report sensations they can't explain. Tingling in the spine, arms lifting by themselves, spontaneous weeping, laughter, or even sudden jerks of the head or limbs. These are not breakdowns, they are breakthroughs. The body is not malfunctioning, it is recalibrating. Let's say it clearly, you are not losing control, you are reconnecting to source. Throughout ancient history, this has been known. In Taoist writings, spontaneous movement during Qigong practice was a sign that Qi, life energy, was beginning to circulate freely. Practitioners didn't resist these flows. They surrendered, because they understood the body knows how to release pain long before the mind is ready. In Sufi whirling, dervishes spin not for show, but to align themselves with divine motion. Their bodies become vessels of surrender. In trance dances across Africa and South America, movements seem wild, but they are choreographed by spirit, not the ego. Why does the body move this way? Because trauma, like energy, cannot be destroyed, only transformed. What doesn't get expressed through tears may emerge through tremors. What doesn't get spoken in words may rise as motion. The sacred tremor is the body's way of speaking what language cannot contain. Let's understand how these movements work. Your nervous system is like a tightly tuned instrument. Every emotion, every repressed memory, every unresolved pain creates tension. When spiritual energy, such as Kundalini, rises, it presses against those tight spaces, and the nervous system must adapt. These shakes are often the release valve, the body's way of realigning to a new frequency. But this is not random. A trembling spine may indicate the awakening of the root chakra, connected to safety and grounding. Neck tilting or head swaying may involve the throat chakra or third eye, as the body clears blocks in self-expression or vision. Hands lifting without intent may mean your heart center is opening, allowing flow to expand outward in service or surrender. These signs are deeply personal. For some, the experience is gentle and meditative. For others, it is intense, full of waves and contractions. Regardless of form, the message is the same. Something old is leaving. something true is entering. Still, many people are afraid. They worry they're being taken over or doing something wrong. But suppression is what causes spiritual stagnation. What we repress becomes illness. What we allow becomes light. To allow the shake is to allow yourself to feel, truly feel, for the first time in years, maybe lifetimes. And yes, sometimes you will cry, sometimes you will laugh, sometimes your body may feel like it's unraveling. But this is not chaos. It is the soul reclaiming the body, like the sun returning to a long-abandoned temple. So what do you do when this happens? Step 1, witness, don't interfere. Let the process unfold without fear or shame. These movements are ancient. Trust that the body knows what it's doing. Step 2, breathe into it. Your breath is the bridge between the known and the unknown. When in doubt, breathe deeply and stay centered. Step 3, aftercare. Following intense movement, ground yourself. Eat warm food. Lie down. Journal your emotions. Place your feet on the earth. You are not escaping the world, you are reintegrating. As this continues over time, you will begin to notice that you are lighter, not physically but energetically. That burden in your shoulders, gone. That tightness in your belly, softened. That rage, that grief, that fear, less of a storm, more of a whisper. And eventually a memory may return. Oh yes, this is what it feels like to be free. You were never broken, only blocked, and now the current is flowing again. Part 5. Decoding the movements, what your body is trying to tell you. Every tremor is a sentence, every twist a whisper, every spontaneous motion, whether it's a jerk of the spine, a stretch of the arms, or tears rolling down your cheek, is a message. But the question is, are you listening? We live in a world that values the spoken word, the written command, the scientific explanation. But some truths, the deepest, most soul-altering truths, don't come in language. They come in movement. Like the way trees sway before a storm, like the ripple of a lake when the wind changes, like your body trembling during meditation, trying to say, I remember this frequency, I've been here before. To begin interpreting these movements, you must first accept a core truth. Your body is not separate from your consciousness, it is an expression of it. Think of your physical form as an antenna. It receives signals, not just from the outer world, but from your inner cosmos, your subconscious, your energetic blueprint, your soul's longings. And when a strong enough signal comes through, from a memory, a trauma, a divine touch, your body moves. That movement is the soul translating energy into form. Let's break down some common spontaneous motions and what they might mean. Neck rolling or head tilting, often connected to the throat chakra or third eye. It may signal a need to speak your truth, or to release old blocks in how you perceive and express your inner world. Jaw clenching or releasing, the voice of pain held back. This is where many of us store rage, unsaid words, ancestral silence. When it shakes, it's beginning to unlock. Shoulder trembling or collapsing, the body's attempt to shed old burdens. You may be holding on to responsibilities, guilt, or protection patterns that no longer serve you. Arm stretching or rising, an invitation. It often symbolizes your energy reaching upward or outward, toward surrender, toward connection, toward purpose. Spine swaying or convulsing, central energy is moving. The Sushumna Nadi is activating. This may be a sign of deep alignment or the release of old root chakra fears. Spontaneous laughter or crying, this is emotional detox. You're not getting emotional. You're clearing ancient imprints, making space for authenticity. These are not universal rules, of course. Your body speaks in its own dialect, but if you begin paying attention, truly witnessing without judgment, you will notice patterns. Certain emotions will trigger specific motions. Certain thoughts will create pressure or release. Over time, you'll learn to read the language of your own soul. One important note, you don't need to force understanding. Some movements will make sense days later. Some may never need to be analyzed, only honored. The mind wants clarity, but the body craves permission. Sometimes healing doesn't look like answers, it looks like surrender. So how do you deepen this relationship with your moving body? Create space for expression. Don't just meditate in stillness, allow your body to move. Put on music that speaks to your heart. Let your body lead the dance. Keep a movement journal. Instead of only writing what you think, write what your body felt. Where did it move? When did it stop? What emotions followed? Over time, you'll see the poetry in your patterns. Speak to your body, literally. After a deep session, place your hand where the movement was strongest and say, "Thank you. What do you need me to know?" Then listen, not with ears, but with presence. As your practice deepens, the movements will become more refined, less random, more guided. You may begin to feel a presence within the motion, like being moved by a force that is both you and more than you. That is not imagination. That is integration. The veil between body and spirit is thinning, not just for you, for the whole planet. Humanity is remembering that we are not machines. We are instruments, and what moves through us is sacred. In time, what once scared you, the trembling, the weeping, the shaking, will become a homecoming. And every time your body quivers in silence, you'll know, this is my soul speaking in motion. Part 6, Through the Fire, when the body heals by feeling. There comes a moment in every awakening when the tremors stop being mysterious and start becoming deeply personal. Not because they're less magical, but because you begin to recognize their patterns. Your soul is not shaking randomly. It is pulling threads from your history, one by one, to unweave what no longer serves. You might feel heat rising through your chest as memories of childhood pain surface. You may cry for reasons you can't name, or your body might tremble violently, like it's reliving something ancient, not just from this life, but perhaps from the echo of lifetimes before. This is not imagination. This is embodied truth. Modern trauma science now confirms what mystics have always known. Trauma doesn't just live in the mind. It lodges itself into muscle, fascia, posture, into the very architecture of your physical being. And when you tremble, when you twitch, when you break into cold sweats or uncontrollable breath, it's not dysfunction. It's a reset. What most people call weird body behavior in spiritual practice is often the body releasing the unprocessed pain that was never allowed to move. Pain wants movement. Emotions are energy in motion, and if they are denied flow, they fester, turning into tension, disconnection, or disease. But if allowed to pass through, they heal. This is the great alchemy of the soul. Feeling is the fire that burns illusion. Trembling is the thunder that clears the sky. Movement is the rain that softens the earth. Have you ever sat in silence and suddenly, for no apparent reason, your chest contracts and tears pour from your eyes like a storm? That's your body processing a wound, not from now, but from then, finally feeling safe enough to be felt. Perhaps, for the first time, your inner child knows, you won't silence me anymore. This is why the body doesn't lie. It will tell you when you're holding too much. It will whisper when a boundary has been broken. It will scream when a truth has been buried. And when the soul is ready, it will shake. But here's the paradox. To heal, you must let it hurt. Not by forcing pain, but by not running from it. When you sit with your trembling instead of suppressing it, when you let your back arch or your hands flutter without shame, you are inviting the divine surgeon to work through you. In those moments, you're not just meditating, you're mid-transformation. You are feeling what your ancestors never could. You are processing what your family was too afraid to. You are healing what was passed down in silence. And you're doing it, not with words, but with movement. Some call this somatic awakening. Others call it energy release. But names don't matter. What matters is the felt sense that something inside you, heavy, hidden, is finally being acknowledged. And yes, it might be messy. Healing is not neat. You might shake and collapse and feel raw. But when it's done, you'll feel space where there once was pressure. You'll feel breath where there once was numbness. You'll feel light where there once was darkness. So next time the shaking comes, don't run. Let it come. Let it rise. Let it move through. Hold yourself like a sacred flame, not something to be extinguished, but something to be protected. Because in the tremble, in the heat, in the holy chaos of your body healing itself, you are remembering what it means to be whole. Part 7, Becoming the Temple, when the body and soul walk as one. There is a moment in the journey when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And instead you whisper, thank you. I am ready. This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. The shakes still come, the tremors still visit you in silence, but now they no longer frighten. Now you greet them like old friends. You've learned their language, or rather, remembered it. You know that when your shoulders shiver, it's your soul shedding old weight. When your legs tremble, it's your roots reconnecting to the earth. When your heart beats faster, it's your light trying to pour itself through. You begin to understand. You are not a body with a soul. You are a soul expressing itself through a sacred body. And in that knowing, a profound peace begins to settle inside you. Where once there was confusion, there is clarity. Where once there was shame, there is reverence. Where once there was resistance, there is surrender. You realize that every spontaneous movement, every tear, every moment of stillness, they were not distractions on the spiritual path. They were the path. This is the holy paradox. Your body, once ignored or judged, is now your greatest teacher. Its wisdom doesn't shout, it moves. It doesn't argue, it breathes. It doesn't explain, it reveals. Now you treat your body differently. You feed it not just food, but intention. You don't just stretch it, you listen to where it wants to stretch. You don't just breathe into it, you breathe with it. Even the simplest moments, standing in sunlight, resting on the earth, placing your hand over your heart, become rituals of return. You understand that the divine isn't something out there. It is moving in you. And every time your fingers tremble in stillness, every time your body sways without command, it is Spirit saying, I'm here. I've always been here. In this stage, you begin to embody the sacred, not as performance, not as a role, but as presence. You can be in a cafe, surrounded by noise, and still feel the quiet within. You can be mid-walk and feel your heart expand as a gust of wind wraps around you like a blessing. You can sit in meditation, and instead of chasing stillness, you let movement become your prayer. Now, when others ask, what is this movement? You smile and say, it's how my soul breathes. You no longer need validation. You don't need to prove anything. You've become intimate with mystery, and it moves through you, as tremor, as laughter, as silence. So what comes next? You live, fully, embodied, awake. You walk into life not trying to escape pain, but willing to feel it. Not needing perfection, but embracing process. Not chasing enlightenment, but becoming the light you once searched for. This is what it means to become the temple, to be a living altar, where each breath is sacred, each sensation divine, each moment a chance to remember. I am the soul, and I am the vessel, and when I tremble, it is not fear, it is God dancing through me.